figure that out yourself.
Yeah, I'm not stupid.
Well, Chris, here's what I'm going to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to sleep better tonight because for the last 11 years, I've been wanting to know exactly what that piece of wood was. Yes.
No.
I honestly, I have, that has baffled me for years.
No. Come on.
Yeah.
Not something we see every day.
But there's a chair right there.
Yeah. Okay, let's get back to We'll talk about this again. We'll talk about
We'll
it.
go back to that.
But now I can sleep.
Okay. So my plan was never, not for one single minute, to kill anybody. I swear to God, there was not for a single minute I thought about that. But that man was stupid enough when he saw me, when he came out of that bedroom, that he saw me. I was drunk. I waited for him for almost 1 hour. I was drinking.
While he's in the shower, you're drinking.
I'm drinking.
He gets out of the shower, comes out of the bedroom, what happens?
Then with my coat on, a little bag in here, and run inside. Walk all over the place, drinking and waiting, nervous for him to come out of the room. And so I figured I'd do something very shocking for him to shake him up about this pregnancy. So I thought, oh, I know. I'll wait for him. When he opens the door, I'll be right here in my head. So that's what I did. So when he opened the door and see me with the gun, he saw me with the gun to my head, he would have no reaction. He would keep staring at me, and all of a sudden he doesn't move, and he grabs the gun and grabs my hand and keeps holding me, and then he just throws me against the wall. I fell down because there was a door here. There was the door to the, oh, you know the house. There was the door to the bedroom. There was the door to a middle bedroom, right?
I'm trying to remember, but yes, I think I remember what you're saying.
And there's a third bedroom where his daughter's bedroom. That's where I have the thing. And here's the third bedroom, which is where I have the.
And the steps are over here going down.
Yeah, the steps are right here.
Right. Okay.
Right. So when he comes out of the room, I'm right here.
Come back over here so I can see it. My bright eyes.
Yeah. So and he stares at me. I thought he would have some emotion to his face. He had no emotion to his face at all. Nothing. He just stared at me, and then he grabbed the gun in my arm at the same, no, and my neck at the same time. And then he just threw me, and I fell. I hit my head against the door frame of that bedroom, middle bedroom, and I just stayed there. And we start talking, and he said, no, he started talking. He wasn't talking anymore. He said, that's a very good idea, but just do me a favor. Let me leave the room and go to the basement to do that, because you're going to splash my paintings. You're going to splash blood all over my paintings, because down that step there were 3 paintings, and he's a collector of painting. He was, and I got very angry. If he had said that, I would be dead, he would be alive.
What happened next?
Well, what happened next is that I got very angry, and I got up real fast and I shot.
Shot what?
I shot at him, and I was lying down. He was going.
Come back over here, please. Please.
Yeah, I was going. I was lying down, right? I got up real fast, and I shot at him. He wasn't too far away. It was close.
Was he down the steps? Where was he?
He was going down the steps. Maybe he was on the 3rd step, and it was here. right? Well, let me-
You're right at the top of the steps, top corner.
Yeah, the steps are here, right? Here's the door to the master bedroom. Here's the door to his son's bedroom. Here's the door to his daughter's bedroom.
Is there a bathroom over here somewhere, maybe?
Here's a bathroom here, yes. He saw me here, then he threw me here. I hit my head here. I was here.
So when he threw you down, you didn't lose control of the gun or anything, or he didn't take it from you?
No, he didn't take it from me. So when he saw, when he said, paintings here, I got very angry. I got very angry. And if he had not said that, he would have lived, and I would have died. I would have killed myself.
So they're telling you to go down there, change the whole...
Change the whole thing. It was a very sensitive.
You're still mad, I can tell.
Yeah.
It's very emotional. And this is exactly what you told us when we were on there. But you're telling us now exactly the same thing that you told us before.
I said, look, I didn't say a word. I just thought it was too quick. I'm gonna die. We're gonna die, but you're gonna die with us. The three of us, we're gonna die here now.
You, him, and the kid?
Yeah.
You, him, and the baby?
Yes. But those were not words that I said. It was too quick.
Just what you were thinking?
Yeah. I thought and acted, real quick.
Did you stand up?
I got up real fast. I was maybe like just like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got up real fast. And
what'd you do next?
I just turned around. And just turned around and I shot.
After,
my feeling, it was my impression. My impression is that the gun had 5 shots because I had a little drink. My feeling is that I had shot him 3 times and I saved 2 bullets for myself. So after I shot him, I ran inside this 3rd bedroom. And I sat in the little chair. I sat in the little chair. As hard as it was, I pulled the trigger. It was the hardest thing I ever done in my life. It was hard. I pulled the trigger. Nothing happened. I said, my bullets. What happened? The trigger the 2nd time. I don't know where I got the strength to do it. It was hard. It was very hard. Nothing happened. I said, what happened? I shot him 3 times, and I saved 2 bullets for myself. And what happened? I got confused. So I said, let me put new bullets in. Maybe bad bullets. I don't know. So I ran downstairs to the basement, and I don't remember was when I was going down or going up, back up. I realized what I had done, and I tried to see if it was alive, breathing. I put I took his phone, and I tried to see if he was breathing or vice versa. He wasn't. So they're gonna finish up what I started. So I think it was on my way down. Yes, it was on my way down. And I said, no, it's done. I gotta finish up what I started. So I went to the basement, put in 5 new bullets in the gun. I went back to the room, his daughter's room. I put that gun in that piece of wood. I sat there again. But it was hard because I started thinking about my family. And I said, let me say goodbye to my family. Let me tell my family what I did and what I'm going to do with myself. I don't want them to find that out through the newspapers. I want my myself to tell them. So from the landline, I called my sister. From the cell phone, I called my father. And somehow they start talking among themselves, and they called some lawyer, and they said that Ohio had death penalty, and they advised my father and my sister to convince me to leave the U.S. But they hadn't told me that. In the meantime, while my father and my sister are talking, they put my sister's husband on the phone talking to me, and he's a pastor, and he started talking to me about hell, going to hell. Don't do that, don't kill yourself, because you're going to hell, da da da. He didn't say anything about death penalty. They only talked about going to hell. And I said, no, I don't want to hear that about hell. I gotta kill myself. I want to die. They said, no, don't do that. And then my father took the phone and he said, do you know where your passport is? I said, yes, I do. Where is it? I said, it's in the bank. It's in a safe in the bank. And do you have money? I said, I have a credit card and I have $1,300 in my bank account. He said, go there, get money, and get your passport, and you're gonna come to Brazil. I said, I can't drive. I'm drunk, and they have coffee in the house. I said, I do. Make strong coffee and drink coffee that you're gonna come back. I said, I can't. So he convinced me to do that. I went to the bank, went to my safe deposit, and that is only under my name. My husband didn't have access to that. It's only under my name. So I
Where was that bank at, Chris?
Beautiful.
You remember the name of the bank?
Help me out.
Maybe Huntington? Would have been Huntington.
I don't remember what they were.
I'm trying to remember.
I think it's HSBC. There's only one bank in
Yeah, I know it. Okay, it just may have changed names over the years, that's all.
It's only one bank in there. So I went in there. I went to my safe deposit box, which I had when I got married to him. I had $40,000 in cash. Why I had that? Because I claimed bankruptcy, and I couldn't keep my money in the bank. So, but I spent $30,000 because it didn't work for a while, and I was buying food for the house, I was buying clothes, we were traveling, I paid for all our meals, going out to dinner. So I spent $30,000 easily. Over 2 years, I spent $30,000. So, but I still have $10,000. So, no. I didn't have, that day, I didn't have the $10,000 anymore. Because on Thursday, when I decided to kill myself, when I was preparing to kill myself, I said, I have $10,000. If I'm going to kill myself, I'm not going to leave this $10,000 to him. I'm going to give it to my father. So on Thursday, I transferred $10,000 to my father. If I was
Did you call him and tell him you were going to do that, or did he know that money came?
I did that once in a while because I support family members. Once in a while, I don't remember if I told him. I probably did. But he was.
Did you tell him why, or that was just normal?
No.
Was that a bigger transfer than?
But I wasn't sure if I was going to kill myself. It was just in case I killed myself, because I hadn't talked to him. I was hoping that on Monday we would straighten things out.
Well, would that have wired that money back to you if you wanted it?
No.
So you were out 10 grand one way or the other?
No. That money was for my sister. You know, that money was money that I gave often to my sister. So
you were giving your last money you were giving away to your sister.
Well, but you know, it would go to good use, because instead of me wiring money every couple months, every 3 months, every 6 months, that money would last a year. to support my sister. So I wired that money to him just in case things didn't work out on Monday. I suppose the baby was coming back home, and I was going to tell him about the pregnancy. So that day I wired the money. If I was planning on going back to Brazil, first of all, I would have bought an airplane ticket, which I didn't. I bought the airplane ticket in New York on Monday afternoon. We were confused when I got to the bank to get the things out of the safe deposit box. That I thought, my God, I have $1,300 in the bank account. If I clean it up, they will know that I killed my husband. I was paranoid. So I only got $1,000 and left $300 in the bank account that is still there to this date. And I was confused. I was paranoid. So I went to the clerk, and I got $1,000 out of cash, and I got the things out of my safe deposit box, which was my passport and my diplomas from school and birth certificate and marriage certificate documents. And the money was not there anymore because I had transferred it on Thursday. But on this Monday, after I killed him, I went to the bank and I got my stuff. If I was planning on doing this, I would have gotten things out of the safe deposit box before I killed him, not after.
I understand.
Right?
I know where you're going with this.
Right. So, my father he encouraged me, go there, get your stuff, and you're gonna fly to Brazil. But I don't know. It's a long trip from New York to Pittsburgh, which was the airport, and I'm gonna help you out, and I'm gonna try to buy you the ticket with my credit card. But if things don't work out, at least you have $1,000 and you have your credit card, you're going to be able to get a ticket. So I was able to get a ticket with, I think, with $900, something less than $1,000. He wasn't able to use his credit card.
You left the bank, and if it's the same, what you told me earlier, when you left the bank, you drove to.
Oh yeah, I left.
Very slow and very careful.
I was like a zombie. My father was talking to me to try to encourage me. So because I didn't even know why I was driving. My life is over. What's the purpose of me doing this? But one thing kept going through my head. I want to say goodbye to my family. I want to see my family. Because that idea of committing suicide hadn't left my head yet. I thought, if I get to Brazil and say goodbye to my family, I still can kill myself. And I tried to kill myself there that day that I got to
And how did you try to do that?
I went to a very expensive hotel in Copacabana. I went to the highest, I think it was 19th floor, to the highest apartment that I could get, and I had a credit card. And I said, give me the most, and that was all the limit I still had left in my credit card. So I went down and I said goodbye to my father. He picked me up at the airport. I talked to him. I told him, listen, I did this horrible thing, and I don't want to be in your house because I don't want to involve you in something like that. Because we thought that if the police found me in his house, he would be arrested. That's not true, but at the time we didn't know how things work. So I said, I'm not going to get you involved in this. I just want to say goodbye. We cried and said goodbye. He said, what are you going to do? I said, I'm not going to tell you. Where you go? I'm not going to tell you. But from the way I spoke to him, he knew I was playing unduly. And I said, don't try to stop me. I had to do this. So we cried and we said goodbye, and I went into this very expensive room, hotel room. And what I was going to do is that I was going to sleep a little bit and then wait until night, because I didn't want to make a very bad scene. And I figured that at night I wouldn't have the risk of falling on top of someone and killing an innocent person. So I waited, and once I got to the room, I called my father. I said, Dad, I'm fine. I'm in a hotel room in Copacabana. I said, I love you, something like that. Fine. Then I went to sleep because it was still afternoon. Half an hour later, the phone rings in the room, and it's my father. I said, I'm not going to get into trouble by having you in my house. You can come with me. And I said, Dad, no, yeah, and we're gonna take care of you. I said, really? And my father was not very loving, was never very loving. He said, you're my daughter. And he said that. My father never said that to those words. You're my daughter and I love you.
You went with that.
That was from war. I waited for 2 years to hear those words. I'm your father.
Chris, how about we give you a little break for a few minutes? We're going to take a little break.
Yeah.
We'll come back.
You get some tissues, okay? We're going to go and grab you something for your eyes, and I'll be right back.
I'm going to stop the tape for a second. Time's 11:13. All right, so we're just going to take a little break. Can I get you something else? Is there anything else you want, or?
Let me get you some tissues.
Yeah.
All right. Do that.
Yeah, tissues. We used to have them in here, but they're all gone. Everybody used them.
People crying too much in here.
Chris, I know how hard that was. I know how hard that was. I'll be back in a few minutes, okay?
you. All right, I started the tape back up. The time's 11:21. We took a short break. You're still ready to talk to us. You're still okay with talking to us. All right. Now, here's what I'm going to ask you. You laid out quite a story for us.
Yeah, there's still a big part, an important part of it.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you.
Attempt of suicide before, a month before he died.
You did?
Yeah, he committed to the mental hospital. He put me there.
How did you try to do that time?
Well, thing is, he was depressed. I told you he was depressed. He was drinking a lot. He was having problems with his job at Southwest. He was not flying well, and he was getting bad reviews, and he was at risk of losing his job. So he was already depressed over several things. He hadn't gotten over his divorce from his first wife. It was piling up on him because he wanted to become a politician, and his dreams were ruined. Then the not having custody of his children, he was very frustrated because they were fat and they wanted to be skinny, and they were not, because he wanted his son to be a sports boy, and he was a computer type of person who wanted to play games, and he didn't work out. He was fat, and his daughter was also fat. There was a problem with him. He wanted the perfect wife, the perfect house, the perfect kids. He was obsessed with that. Things were getting out of hand. Left his first marriage didn't work out. His second marriage with Carla Del Castillo, the Peruvian woman, didn't work out, and he was obsessed with her because he talked about her all the time with me. It was crazy, and I looked like her. That's why he married me, and made me even dye my hair black because he wanted me to look like her. And then his son left, didn't want to be living with him anymore. And then there was the pregnancy thing, and he was not doing well at Southwest. All those things started piling up in his head. He became depressed. Oh, and there was the thing that he thought he had prostate cancer, and he tried to get money from the military, the Air Force, and they denied his retirement and denied the settlement. So you can also check those records.
Something we didn't touch on, I think probably just because you got emotional at the time. After you shot him, you were pregnant. What happened with that child?
I lost the baby in
You lost that baby?
Brazil. I couldn't eat. I didn't eat. I didn't sleep in Brazil. I was very sick.
Was that while you were in Sao Paulo at your father's? Sao Paulo?
No, my father. I landed in Sao Paulo. From Sao Paulo, I went to Rio.
Okay.
I stayed with my father for like, I guess, 4 days.
Okay.
And then from Rio, I went to Brazil, and I didn't leave anymore.
When you lost the baby in Brazil, did you go to a hospital there or a doctor?
No, because I was afraid to give my name and be arrested. I was paranoid for that.
Okay, so we're going to talk about some of that too, because I'm really, really interested in what happened after that. All right, I'd like to know how all that worked. Another question. At some point, did you try to buy? Now you told us about the revolver. At some other point, did you try to buy another gun too?
Yeah, I tried to buy another gun.
Tell me why, or what it was, or where you tried to buy it, or tell me everything.
I thought that gun was not. I don't remember exactly the reason why I wanted to buy a second gun. Let me try to think.
big one. That was a 45, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think he convinced me that, I don't remember the
Who
reason.
convinced you?
The guy at the firing
At the range?
store. Yes.
What, he was trying to tell you that might be a better gun for you or something?
No, I started inquiring.
Because of internet searches you were doing?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so you actually tried to buy it, just that the purchase didn't go through on your credit card, right? You remember?
No, I figured, I think I figured that first gun, it was good. It was a good gun. I didn't need that other gun. It was good.
Okay, so, all right. I thought something happened, your credit card didn't go through or something. All right, maybe I'm mistaken. Like I said, it's been a long time.
I don't remember.
Okay, that's
To be
fine.
wrong-
It's
to
minor.
be
I
honest
just wanted,
with
I was
you.
trying to figure out why you needed two guns.
No, I think, to be honest with you, I don't remember why I wanted to buy the second gun if I thought that one would be more efficient than the other. Or maybe because I shot with a gun similar to that gun, and I thought it was better. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I think I tried that gun, and I thought it was a good gun. It was like,
How'd you try it?
I think he let me fire with a similar gun.
So somebody at the range let you shoot once, then you liked it, so you were going to buy one second.
The fuel, I thought it was...
Did it have anything to do with any kind of... You remember having any conversations with anybody about, like, knockdown power or anything like that?
what is that knockdown?
You know, like the power of the bullet? Like what it would take to actually put somebody down if they were, if you're trying to shoot them? Do you recall any of that?
No, never thought of anything like that. All I remember is that when I went to buy the bullet, I wanted to buy that bullet that exploded.
Hollow point?
I don't know the name of it, but that opened.
Why did you want that?
Because if I want to kill myself, I wanted it to not to just go, not do any harm, to do big harm.
And you were buying that gun for what reason? Tell me again. Why were you buying the gun in the first place?
The first one?
Mm-hmm.
To kill myself. Yeah, that's why I made that hole in the wood.
All right, now, you were very descriptive in what you laid.
Remember why I want to buy a second gun?
Well, it may have, as you're talking about that, some of that stuff's kind of sparked in my memory and made me think that maybe you did shoot something at the range in somebody, but I thought there was something about maybe, a bigger bullet, more knockdown power. I thought I remember hearing something about that, but I could be mistaken.
No. Oh, the only thing I remember was that I want to buy a bullet that would do more harm or open inside your body to do more damage.
And where'd you learn that about that?
Carl.
Oh, he told you about the bullets?
Yeah, he told
Did
me.
he teach you how to shoot? I mean, did he?
Yeah, he shot in the house. He taught me how to shoot with help me out.
Like a long gun, a shotgun?
Yeah, shotgun.
Okay. Did he have handguns in the house?
Lots. Yes.
So why did you go buy, if you had,
Because I tried to commit suicide several times. You didn't let me get into that yet.
No, what I'm saying though is if he had guns in the house, why
Because
didn't
I
you?
tried to kill myself with a gun, and then when he found out, he took away all the guns from the house.
Okay. How'd you fail? How did you not kill yourself?
I got scared. I changed my mind, but I told him that I tried to do that. And after that...
No problem. Now, I want to go back to, you remember very vividly, you kind of drew out the layout of upstairs for us. I mean, you're pointing the gun in the direction that you thought you would have been pointing it back then. How many times, so he comes out of the bathroom, and I just want to replay this, because this is we'll touch on a lot of different things here, but this is nuts and bolts of it.
Yeah.
You're drinking. You're upset because he doesn't want you to have, now he knows you're pregnant for the third time. He doesn't want you to have that baby. He says, I'm taking a shower, we'll talk about it. So you're going to make an impact. You want him to see that you're serious about this when he comes out of that room. And you're standing there with that gun to your head. And he comes out, stares at you for 2
Doesn't
seconds.
faze him.
Not only does it not faze him, once he tosses you on the ground, he says what?
Go ahead.
Just don't
Yeah,
mess
just-
up my stuff.
Yeah.
Because my stuff's more important than you. Right?
If you take it like that, but this is a clear.
You bounce up off the ground.
Yeah.
After he shoves you down, what's his action after that? Does he start going down the steps?
No, the first bullet knocked him.
What's
The
that?
first bullet knocked him.
Not him?
Not killed him. The first one.
The first one killed him?
The first one. He fell down. He was going down the stairs. Like this. Like in his one foot, I remember his one foot did like this. He fell down. But there was not that sound like no sound. He died instantly.
Let me ask you this. The first, now you had a laser on that gun.
No, but it was so, I didn't need to use because it was too fast. The laser was not for, I didn't buy a gun to kill anybody.
I'm not saying you did.
So the laser beam was there's no more use for it. It was just in the gun.
Listen to what I'm saying. Do you know where that first shot hit him?
No, I actually, I was just shooting.
That's why I'm asking you, because the laser, obviously, if you have a laser pointing somewhere, it's hard to see where a bullet actually hit something, but it's pretty easy to see where that red laser's pointing.
No, it was too fast. It's impossible to.
How close was he to you when you fired that first shot?
From here to there, or less. From here to
So
there.
I would say at most this is 6.5 feet.
Yeah.
Feet, maybe?
Yeah.
So very close.
Very close.
Okay. And then how many times you shoot?
In my head, I had shot him 3 times, but the articles say I shot 5 times, hit him 3 bullets, and 2 were hit the room.
And we'll get into that.
But in my head, I had shot him 3 times, and I saved up 2 bullets for myself.
Okay, we'll get into that, because that touches on that. We're in a little math problem here. I know you're intelligent, so we're going to work on that math here.
I don't know if it's true that there were 5 shots. I read that on the internet. That, you know,
I understand.
If I remember what you told me on the plane, if I remember correctly, you said that it happened so fast that you shot, and you remember shooting a couple times, but you didn't remember how many, because when you went to the bedroom, you thought you had 2 more bullets.
No.
When you
In my
tried.
head,
Right.
I counted 3 bullets.
Counted 3.
In my head, I counted 3 bullets.
Right.
So in my head, I knew there were 5, so less 3 was still 2. So went to the bed. I only needed 1 to kill myself,
Right.
but I had 2. Because in my head, I
All right, we're going to get back
3
to
times.
that. But so he shot 3 times.
In my head, I don't know if I hit him or not.
Okay.
In my
But the
head,
first shot, you know, I mean, you
in the
told
first shot, I know hit him because I saw how he fell.
And you said, you know, it killed him. He went right down, his foot buckled. You're describing how his
No,
foot
it
buckled.
looked like that one. It looked. I didn't know. It looked like. I didn't know for sure. It looked like the first one was the bullet that killed him. From the way he didn't make a sound. So that's what I think happened.
Now, regardless of the number of shots you actually fired or what you think you read or what have you, where did you fire? Did you fire all the shots from upstairs, or did you go down to where he was at the bottom of the steps
Don't remember.
and shoot more?
Don't remember that part. It happened too fast.
Because one thing I'm going to tell you, I'm going to let out what you probably read on. Do you remember reading anything on the news about the coroner's report?
I read a few things.
Do you remember anything about a contact gunshot wound?
No, I don't
You
know.
understand what a contact gunshot wound is with all the research you've done about suicide and everything?
Contact
Contact.
must be contacts. Yeah,
In close proximity, very close.
yeah.
He had one of
It's
those.
possible
that I hit him was, I don't remember. I'm saying that it's possible. I don't remember. I cannot say something to you that I don't remember.
And I wouldn't ask you to.
Right. But it's possible. I remember very clearly the first one. That I remember, the first one. And then I know that I shot him 2 more times. But I don't remember if it was on top or if I went down to shoot him. I don't remember. But it's possible that I did.
Possible that you did?
Yes, it's possible.
So it's not out of the realm of possibility?
No, it's not.
Because what could have happened there, I mean, you're mad, right? I mean, basically, he just told you that his paintings are more important than you.
Yeah.
So you're pissed.
Yes.
And I think most people would be there.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, we hit him, he goes down, you go down the bottom steps. Is he still moving? Is he still breathing?
No, he was already not moving because he didn't make that sound of, nothing. So it was too fast. It's like I'm saying, I don't remember if I went down and shot 2 more times or if I shot from the top of the city. That part I don't remember. But I know I shot 3 times. That's what I remember. I may have shot 5, but I only remember 3.
So it's possible. Anyway.
And it's very possible that I shot 5 times because I told you that I went back to the room to shoot at myself, and nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I was baffled. I was confused because in my head I had shot 3 times.
Not 5.
Not 5.
But it would make sense that you shot 5 because
It makes
pulled the trigger
sense.
twice, nothing happened.
Right. I got very confused. So I don't have that much experience with guns, and I thought the bullets are bad. Maybe they failed. There was a problem. There was a manufacturing problem with the bullets. So I got to go back to the basement and change the bullets, put new bullets in to go back and kill myself. But in the meantime, I think it's when I'm going down. I don't remember if it was going down or off the stairs, and I had pain. Oh, it was when I was going out because it was already cold, and then I came to my sense. I think that time of going down to the basement and having time to put in 5 new bullets, I came to my senses. And when I went up again, and I saw him there, and I realized what I had done. And I took up his pulse and checked his breathing.
What did you do next?
When I saw that he was not breathing at all, I went running back into the bedroom to shoot myself a 3rd time. That was when it was not the reason why I didn't shoot myself the 3rd time was not because it was hard. It was because I thought of my family.
I got you. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I get you.
I wanted to tell them.
Now, he was covered up. Why'd you cover him up?
See, yes, because when I went back. No, I didn't go back to the house. I went straight from the main to the airport. I didn't go back into the house because I want to have time to fly. So I put a cover over him and a letter. In case somebody came to the window, they would not see his body. So I would have time to take him in.
To get out of the country.
To get out of the country.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
I want to jump in something about the airport that kind of is something I'm curious about because it confused me. Why didn't you just? I know there isn't like a direct flight from Pittsburgh to Brazil, but why didn't?
There is?
There isn't.
No, there isn't.
But I was just curious, why did you fly from Pittsburgh to LaGuardia and then like you changed airports? There wasn't a way just to.
It's one next to each other.
Yeah, there wasn't a way to book a flight and like when I flew down there a couple of days ago when I went to get you, they didn't let us fly down on that really nice plane.
No,
We had to fly on American. We had to go to Miami and change planes, but we were able to do it right from here.
No, listen. There were no flights at that time from Pittsburgh to JFK.
Okay, so that was the only way to get there. You had to go to LaGuardia and then.
And there
really 5
They're
minutes
close.
away.
Yeah, I'm familiar. You used to live there.
Yeah, and I got there, I don't know, probably before 2 p.m., around
Okay.
2 p.m. And the flight to Brazil was only at 6 or 9, so I had plenty of
That's 4
time.
hours and
I wasn't in a rush to get to JFK. I was in a rush to get to New York, because the flight to Brazil was from New York.
Okay, so that's probably not uncommon to fly to LaGuardia and then just have to get a cab or a friend
And
or
I
somebody.
didn't have money for the ticket. I had to fly with his flying privileges. As a spouse, I could fly with I had flying
Was
privileges.
that for both flights?
No,
Just the one to...
just the message.
Just the one to Pittsburgh, okay.
Yeah.
So you head down there, check in the hotel, then you just stay with Dad. At what point does this start setting in? This is really interesting. By now you know what happened. You know what you did. It's all coming together.
Yeah.
What's going on down in Brazil?
Well, I tried I wanted to kill myself. I had a fixation. I wanted to kill myself. So when my father told me those words, they moved me a lot. And I wanted to enjoy that a little bit more. I wanted to prolong my time with my family as much as I could. So I was saying a long goodbye to them. So I spent those, I don't know, probably 4 days with my father, 3-4 days. And he said, I talked to your siblings and they think it's better that you don't stay here with me, you go to Brasilia, because there are more people there to cheer you up. Here's just me and you're too sad, you don't talk, you don't eat, you don't do anything. So I think there's a better environment for you as a kid. But I have no woman. He said, don't worry about it. We already got you a ticket. So I went to Brasilia and I had an apartment there and that my sister lived in. And I just stayed with my sister. She had kids and more people. And
Did everybody down there know who you were and what was going on up here? Did they know about what happened?
My whole family. Yeah. And they took care of me.
What about the people of Brazil? I mean, did you just blend in down there and nobody really knew what was going on or who you were?
No. That didn't hit the news in there for, I think, a year or two. Yeah. So, so they just cheered me up. They tried to cheer me up because nothing with and then I tried the same thing that I did in the hotel in Rio. I did in Brasilia 4 times. I went to another hotel. I went to the 13th floor and I tried the same thing, but for some reason things would not work out.
What were you going to do? You were trying to jump?
Yeah. So I spent all the money that I had going to those hotels to try to kill myself. So I figured out that it would be very hard to kill myself that way. I just didn't have the courage to do that. I would find excuses. I would wait too long, and things just didn't work out. And I was running out of money. So I don't have any more money to keep going to hotels. And I had a little piece of land that I had from many years before, from 20 years before I went back to Brazil. But there was no construction there. So that $10,000 that I gave to my father gave me all back to me, and I was living off of that money. But I was spending it all, and I was spending it like water because I thought, I don't need money. I'm going to kill myself. Why do I need money? I'm going to expensive hotels to try to kill myself, and then I bought. I was running out of money, but I think I still had four
I spent all the money real quick. And I bought some wood and some bricks and to build a little shack. And I bought a little Volkswagen Beetle, because I thought another way to commit suicide was to the exhaust of the car. So I figured I would get the car in that room, and I would get it running, and I would take some sleeping pills, and I would die from the carbon monoxide. Then I had a problem because when the beetle was inside that little shack, he made so much noise.
You couldn't fall asleep.
No, the neighbors. The neighbors would. Bad luck. The neighbors would hear that noise and go there and try to find out what was going on. So I figured that I would have to wait until some festivity day, carnival, someday that would have a lot of music going on for me to do that. So as I kept postponing and postponing, I was getting better, stronger psychologically, and I met my husband there. And
you got married again down there?
I did.
Yeah, that's what
really?
I
did.
When you're ready.
I've been married for 11 years.
Really?
Yeah.
So from the time you got down there, you basically got married right away?
Yeah, to a guy that worked in the construction store that helped me build the shack. He was what do you call it? Non-educated man, a very.
You kind of said he was like a farmer.
Farmer.
Let me ask you a question. When did you get married? Do you remember what your wedding day was?
Well, there is two types of wedding: the official and the non-official.
Okay.
I mean, we got into a relationship
Right.
In 2007, like around June. I got
Okay.
there.
So 3 months after being down there?
No, we started talking. 6 months later, we found out. We were like flirting.
Did you know him before you went to Brazil this time? Is this somebody you knew from your past in Brazil?
No,
or is this
no.
you met him when you got
The
there?
construction, it was the first time I saw
Did
him.
he know what happened up here?
No, I told him a story.
That would
why-
probably be a deal breaker, I would imagine.
Yeah, exactly. So I was afraid of telling him the story, so I told him that I was from Rio de Janeiro, that was there hiding from my husband, that was a police officer, that I didn't want to be married to him anymore, and he swore me to death. And I had to hide. Nobody could know where I was. That's why I was hiding that in the middle of nowhere, building a shack in the middle of nowhere, so my husband that wanted to kill me wouldn't find me. But after he built that little shack, I had some articles, newspaper articles, and some pictures of Carl in a box in that shack. And because he took care of that shack, he saw those papers, and he figured out that my story was not exactly the way I said. He confronted me, and I said, look, it's better that you don't ask too many questions. You know enough. Because maybe that's not entirely the truth, but if I tell you the truth, you're probably not going to want to talk to me anymore and start crying. He said, try me out. I think you're going to be surprised. Something like that. And then I figured that I knew that my story wasn't true. And I took a chance. So I told him the whole thing. I said, look, if you want to leave and never talk to me again, go right ahead. I will understand. He said, no, I like you more now that you told me the truth than before.
And you're still with him now. That's who you wanted. Sean to call to get your property and stuff.
Yeah.
Today, right? That's
Yeah.
who you called to get your stuff.
Get over here.
Yeah, that's good too.
Something I like to talk, and what we'll do is we'll take one more little break before we're done, just to make sure there's nothing. We've sat here with you for quite some time. This is probably the longest interview I've ever done.
Yeah, but you're missing a very important part.
We're not listening. We'll listen to you all night.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it. But I like to ask two things. First of all, if you could, remember we talked about earlier if the Hoerig family is going to be able to hear this or see this.
Yeah, there was a lot that I haven't said about Carl. I think it said enough. I think I said enough because if I say more about his character, I'm afraid that it's going to hurt them too much.
We'll give you the chance to say whatever you want, just like we said from the start. This is your story, okay? You're the artist here. You can't, baby.
It's not because it was only a fetus that has no value. And what hurts me more, if that's the talking about, is because I was getting into the part that he was depressed, and I want to get him treatment in Brazil because a pilot with mental problems be forced into retirement. You can't be a pilot. You know that. You know about the story of the pilot, German pilot, that with an airplane with 200 people against the mountains because he had depression, untreated depression. So he knew that he had any situation of going to a psychiatrist, he would have to stop flying. So my plan was I was being his therapist. I was talking to him, getting him to cheer up, and at the same time trying to get him medicine in Brazil. Sneak up medicine, go to Brazil. Not sneak up medicine because you're allowed to bring in medicine. But so he would take medicine without, off the records, without anybody knowing that he was taking psychiatric medication.
Did you take these medicines?
No, I wasn't able to get the medicine from Brazil. I only talked to my father about that. I spoke to my father about getting the medication, but I didn't fly to Brazil to get the medication. I was deciding that with Carl. So at one point I had to tell his parents what was going on, that he was very depressed. So I talked to his parents, and we were figuring out a plan to help Carl. But at one point, Steve, he didn't like that. He figured that I shouldn't be involving his parents in my marital problems. So things were, I was getting the support I needed because I was alone helping a sick man. It was too much for me. That was getting me mentally sick.
So where does this fall in the time frame of things?
That was the last 4 months. The last 4 months. So I was talking to his parents. They were being very supportive, and they were very concerned about him. So then Steve got into the picture, and he said, "Don't you ever talk to my parents about your marital problems. Do not ever involve my parents in your marital problems." So that was when I was alone with a big problem in my hands. I saw a light at the end of the tunnel with the parents. But once he said, "Don't solve your own problems," then I was alone again. Then I became very very ill because his parents were encouraging me to not take the abuse. Yes, you can wear sneakers. Yes, you can wear closed shoes.
So his parents even started siding with you at some point?
Yes. You can. That's your own fault because you take the abuse. Because he doesn't let you wear jackets in the house. You can't put up with that. So they start encouraging me to stand up for myself. But once they got out of the picture, I didn't feel strong enough to stand up for Carl, So I said, now I'm in trouble again. He started to dominate me, and I was hurting again, and I became very depressed. And that's when I tried to kill myself with his gun. And then I didn't trigger, but I told him about the gun. Got all the guns out of the house. So then I tried to kill myself with sleeping pills. Took sleeping pills, and I took the car, and I fell into a pit. I fell with the car into a pit, and then they took me to a hospital. I was unconscious. They saved me, and they're gonna release me the next day. They're gonna release me, and they called in the nurse, and they said, "Mr. Hoerig, do you think your wife is ready to go to the house?" And then he hesitated a little, and I had told him about. That's the day when I told him about the gun. He didn't know about the gun yet. I told him before the sleeping pills, I had tried to kill myself with your gun. Then he said, "Oh my God," he got really nervous. Then he told the nurse, "I think she should stay at the hospital a couple more days to see if she's really good." And the nurse wanted to know why. And he told the nurse about the gun, and then they committed me to a mental hospital. And I stayed there a few weeks. And I said, if you do that, don't tell that nurse, I can go home. You know that all I had is my job. It was tax season. All I had is my job. It was like January. I'm going to lose my job. I was in the middle of doing an audit for the Salvation Army. And I said, I'm almost done with the audit. Nobody can pick up from my left off. And I'm going to hurt that company, that firm, and I'm going to hurt myself professionally. You know that I love to work. All I do is work. I work 7 days a week, and I work 14 hours a day. You know that I love to work. If you take that away from me, you're taking everything away from me. Please don't do that. So he felt really sorry. He went to the hospital every day, said how much he was sorry, how much he loved me, but I was really angry at what he had done to me. And the psychiatrist, every day we had to meet with the psychiatrist. And I started telling to the psychiatrist that I wasn't crazy. He was the crazy person. He should be there, not me. And then they thought I was really crazy, because every crazy person says that the other person is crazy, that they are normal. Things got worse to me. Then they would leave me out of the hospital. Then I got smart. I said, this doctor is crazy. He was crazy. I said, I gotta be smarter than him. Then I changed everything around. I said, no, doctor, you're really right. I'm crazy. You're right. I'm crazy. My husband, he's wonderful, has done nothing wrong to me. I'm the bad one. Now I see everything clear. I'm crazy. Yes, I should be here, but I feel so much better. You can let me go home. But that didn't work so fast. It didn't work so fast. And to see what was consistent in saying that I was the crazy one, but I was feeling better, and that worked. So then he released me. I went back to work, but that day I was like, and then would play his game. He took a few days off work to be with me.
You went to working anyway, right?
Now, he didn't want me
He didn't
working.
want you working, did he?
No, he did. He liked my money. Yeah, but not to live here, but get a job eventually. You know, never gave me any money.
Let me ask you, one thing I didn't ask you, back to it, after you shoot, and you get your wits about you and you realize what just happened, did you ever think about just calling the police?
Yes, I did, and I was. But my father said not because of the death penalty.
Your dad was protecting his daughter.
Yeah, I didn't care.
How long after you shot him, all these conversations between your dad, your sister's husband, how long are you in that house?
But then my idea, no, that wasn't, my father knew about the death penalty. And told me, I didn't know anything about the death penalty.
You know what, earlier when you were talking, you said that you would talk to your father, you talked to the pastor, you talked to your sister, and you said there was an attorney. Did you talk to the attorney, or did one of your family?
No, I don't even know who this attorney was. The only thing I know is that I heard somebody, either my father, my sister, they were talking to an attorney. Could hear in the background.
Somebody else was talking to somebody in the background.
Yeah,
Okay.
calling an attorney. You know, I don't know who this attorney was. I've never seen him.
Let me ask you this, Chris. What do you think? Now, you've had almost 11 years to think about this. Now that you're here, and the day has come, what do you think should happen to you, and what do you think your punishment should be?
Okay. It doesn't matter to me. My life is over since that day. It doesn't matter. I'm already dead inside. If you say you're free to go, I still don't have a life. If you say you're free to go, where? Go back to Brazil? I don't respect that country anymore. Yes, I probably would go back to Brazil because of my health. But inside, I'm dead. To me, it doesn't matter where I am at. I live for people. I live for animals. I'm an animal protector. I take care of sick animals, dogs, cats, horses, whatever I find that is sick. That's my life mission, to take care of other people. I feel like I'm taking care of my husband because he's a man that has health problems. He cannot work. So I feel like I'm taking care of him, like I'm taking care of the animals. So as long as I feel like I'm helpful to somebody, well, that I have a reason to live. But not for me. I don't care if I'm in prison here, in prison in Brazil, if I'm alive, if I'm dead. I'm dead inside. I've been dead since March 12, 2007. Doesn't matter to me.
It's strong. Very strong. Do you feel somewhat better now that you're here in this next chapter of this story?
I do because it's closure for me.
Yeah, we talked about this a lot on the plane.
And something that'll make you feel better is this is probably the last step of closure for his family. Because I know you said you care about his family and you care about what they think.
Yeah.
So this was very important.
I
to them
just
as well.
don't care for Steve because Steve. I don't like Steve because Steve is the reason why this whole I would be married to the state. So I don't like Steve. Steve, he wasn't, he didn't do the right thing for his brother. He did a very bad thing. I don't like Steve. I like Paul. I like his mother, his father. I like Eve, his daughter. I like Brent, his son. I don't like Steve. Steve was bad, not intentionally. I understand that was not intentional, but he was impulsive. He did very big harm. So Steve, I had resentment towards Steve.
Here's what we're going to do right now. We're going to take one more little break, okay? And while we're gone, I want you to think about things that maybe you feel. We've sat here and listened to for the next couple minutes. Think about that, and when we come back in, you're going to have a chance to tell us that stuff, all right? And we're going to go talk. Hey, is there anything else we need to talk about? Okay?
Yes, sure.
All right, Chris, that all makes sense?
Do you need anything else? Any water, any more tissues, anything like that?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Break. The time is 12:09. We'll be right back, okay? I'm going to take my pen.
Yeah. But I'm going to go home to myself.
Yeah, I don't want you to do that. Don't do that here,
I won't
okay?
do that. Don't worry about
Remember,
it.
you said you wouldn't do that as long as you're helping people, and you've been very helpful to us.
I don't want to go to hell.
Back on.
That's a piece of wood.
Yeah. We're back on, and it's 12. I brought this thing in just so you knew. For 11 years, we had our ideas and we had our thoughts.
What did you think?
We'll tell you. Well, we thought a few different things. We thought about the suicide thing, just not in the same manner. Just not in the same manner you did.
Oh.
Maybe leaning over it or something like that. Yeah, the way it was, it was just something that came to our mind. And we also thought maybe it was a booby trap that somebody opened the door. Could there have been something tied to the triggers to make, thought of a few different things.
To shoot one of us. We thought maybe it was booby traps, so if you opened the door, whoever opened the door would get shot.
But
Whether it was Carl or whether it was us.
Well, right. We couldn't figure out what
They
it
didn't know. They
was.
just didn't, it was...
But you didn't see the seat?
You gotta remember, I'm getting old now. My memory's not what it used to be. So I can't really say, I don't know.
You don't have pictures?
I'm not sure.
Of them?
Yeah, but I didn't know you were coming.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay?
You see the bottle of cachaça on the bed?
Well, believe me, we'll be going through this case with a fine-tooth comb now, trust me. One other, I guess probably the simplest question that we didn't ask. Instead of killing him, would it have been easier to just get a divorce?
I tried. He wouldn't let me.
How far did you go? I mean, did you tell him, you told him you wanted a divorce?
Almost every day.
And what was his story? What was his answer?
I love you. I beg you, won't change. I love you. I love you. I can live with you, most beautiful woman in the world. I love you. I swear I'm going to change. What wife won't accept a man asking for forgiveness?
Does that work?
All right, so
I hadn't tried long enough. Only 2 years.
well, then,
It's not like I had tried the 10 years. Oh, I already put up with you 10 years. It's not going to work. I have been only 2 years. So, I had to try a little bit more.
so you made this thing yourself.
Yeah.
What'd you use to make the little hole? You remember?
I had many tools, many tools.
You pretty handy?
Very. I built houses, I paint houses, I do more stuff. Very
So,
handy.
did you just put the end of the gun on there and kind of trace it and then figure out a way to cut it out?
Yeah.
Not a bad job. Chris, is there anything else that you want to say, that you want to get off your chest, that you think we should know? that you want to talk to us about? Anything else, now's the chance.
There's so many things, but
Well, here's what I can tell you. Here's what you can expect from this point forward. Okay? At some point, obviously, you're going to go into our jail tonight, and at some point, maybe as early as tomorrow, you're going to see a judge.
really, for what?
For your murder charge.
What they'll do is you have a charge, but then they will bring you to court. It's a lot different than Brazil. They're going to take you to court in front of the judge. The charge will be read to you in court. You'll be told what your rights are, some more rights, the opportunity to get an attorney. So you'll have to go over to court to do that. They'll walk you over to court for that.
Now, if by tomorrow morning, once you get an attorney, like we talked earlier, once you get an attorney, then I can't come talk to you. If tomorrow morning, when you wake up, if you want to talk to me, you just ask one of the officers working in there, and I'll come see you. Okay, if there's something else that maybe we forgot tonight, but really, once you have an attorney, then me and you aren't going to be able to talk to you. Okay?
That's the rules.
Then what will happen is it'll be your attorney talking to our attorneys. That's how that works. Okay? But I'm going to be honest with you. I'm glad this day came. I never thought in a million years this day would come. All right? But you know what I've learned in the last 3-4 hours? I've learned that this has brought you some closure. It's going to bring his family some closure. And it's going to bring us some closure. So I'm glad that this happened this way in the end. I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate you talking to us.
Well, I think we talked about that. It's important for you. It's important for the family. It's important for us. I think and you wanted to tell your story, and you got the opportunity to do that.
Your story needed to be heard.
There were many things that we didn't know that now we did. And that's very important.
Yeah, for you to understand this man better, you have to know that he was a subscriber to that site hog tie. That's what he did to me. And he forced me to watch a show that I hated. It's called Miles High. That is about couple swinging pilots with the crew, men with men, women with women, and that whole dirty thing. And he forced me to watch another TV show called Big Love. Big Love is a man with several wives, and he didn't want me to accept him to have a second wife to live with us. Not a wife, but a maid from Brazil to spice up our sex life. And I gave me an ultimatum. I said, if you don't do that, our marriage not going to work. So, all those things were very disturbing to me. He wanted me to be a person, to have a sexual behavior that just didn't agree with me.
I understand. And I appreciate you, like I said, being honest and talking to us about that. I'm sure, sure it's hard for you to talk
Yeah,
about.
to have another woman as his wife and accept him to be with men, women, everything. I couldn't do that. That wasn't possible.
I understand.
It wasn't possible.
I understand.
So it would have. I didn't leave him, but I didn't say yes to him. So that frustrated him and caused a lot of friction between us. So our marriage wasn't smooth because he wanted to turn me into a geisha, into a very passive woman that didn't talk, didn't have an opinion, had many different rules that I couldn't talk, I couldn't have an opinion, I couldn't I could only watch the TV shows that he wanted. I couldn't go to sleep. No, I had to stay up with him until the time he wanted to turn off the TV, even though he knew that I had to work the next day. So, that was killing me. So the days that he wasn't home, I had to stay up until 3 o'clock in the morning. But I had to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to work the next day.
Right.
So that's when I started getting fat, and things got worse progressively because he wanted to control my thoughts, every thought of mine, every move of mine. The clothes that I wore, had to wear only what he picked for me, and I had to sleep naked, no socks, no pajamas, no underwear, no nothing, and walk around. That's degrading, to walk around naked in the house with high heels. That's insane. That's degrading. So that's the kind of stuff I went through, and there are a few things that I don't feel comfortable talking about.
Okay,
That's fine. Well, we understand. I think that you've done a very good job of filling in a lot of blanks and making sure that we had
Yeah, he was a weird man. Sexually, he was weird, and also he was suffering depression, and he wasn't doing well in his job. I tried to help him as much as I could.
We're going to stop things now. It's 12:24 a.m. It's now the 18th of January, Thursday. And again, you make a statement on your own free will, right?
Yes, I did.
We told you that you didn't have to talk to us, and you chose to talk to us.
Yes.
And we went over your constitutional rights under Miranda with you, which you understood, signed, and waived, right? Chris, I really appreciate it.
All right,
Just sit tight.
It's going to help you in anything.
It's going to help everybody. It's
Well,
going to help everybody.
here's what I'm going to tell you. I mean, from a police standpoint, I don't like seeing cases that aren't done.
Just bothering by it.
Yeah, I mean, little things like this.
You talked about that, didn't you? Things that are unfinished bother you. They bother us too.
Yeah.
Finding the truth, filling in the blanks. Now we understand.
I told you this thing wasn't far away. I told you earlier.
Somebody,
I've thought about this piece of wood a lot.
Didn't figure out the season.
We had our ideas. That wasn't one of them. Not that way.
I tried to think about that second gun, and I was thinking maybe if the trigger was easier to pull. I don't quite remember the reason I want that second gun.
In the grand scheme of things, it's not that important, but just something that
No, but
something we know about and we wanted to ask.
something that I was off my mind completely, but because you brought that up, I'm asking myself, it's not going to change anything, but I'm forcing myself to try to remember the reason, and I was thinking that had something to do with the trigger being easier to pull, because I did this after I wanted to buy the second gun. After. So I think that when I did that I found that way that I could put the trigger, then I didn't need the second gun anymore. Because this would solve the problem.
Do the trick.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, great. We're going to stop it. The time is 12:26. Just hang on here. We'll be back to get you, okay? You need anything?
No.
Okay, we'll be right back. have your glasses. Wear those. I'm going to put these on, but I'm going to put them on in front of you. Okay? And we got to watch over to the depot now.